All right, guys. So thanks for being here tonight. It is the last day of the month, June 30th. So thanks, guys, for being here on Team Forever Strong's weekly call. Tonight is your lucky night because we have a special. I know, isn't it funny when everybody says that, right? And they introduce you and say, but it's true, though. Everyone is so excited to be able to hear from you. So we are so lucky, guys, that we have Tara Bialek on the call with us tonight as our guest speaker. So I don't want to take away too much time. I'm going to mute everybody, and then you can just unmute yourself, Tara.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time talking, but before I turn it over to her and just kind of introduce you to her a little bit, I just wanted to say really quickly, thanks guys so much for checking in on me all week long and sending me such nice messages and making sure I've been okay, and for really just kind of stepping it up with the team and kind of steering the ship while I kind of have been dealing with my issues over here. So anyways, tonight we have Tara on the call, and she is awesome, guys. I've been able to work with her now for the past 2 Diamond Dashes that we have running. So our next one is going to be on July 11th. And she's an amazing leader in the company. She's a superstar coach, and I think she achieved that rank in like 2.5 years, which is like extremely fast. So she knows her stuff, guys. We're going to learn so much from her tonight. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star, which means that she has hit Success Club 10 for 12 consecutive months in a row. She also is a mom of 3, and she's a retired school teacher. And she was just saying at the beginning of the call that she is going to be moving into a brand new house that they just built. And she's just been able to really build an incredible team, an incredible business. And she's going to be sharing with you guys tonight her story, how she built her team, how she took ownership over it and became a leader right out of the gates, and has been able to build this business so that she can live out this this life by design and have this freedom of flexibility, which she is living. So whenever you're ready, Tara, you can go ahead and take it over. We're excited to hear from you, and I have my pen and my notebook out tonight, so I hope you guys do too.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm really excited to be here. You guys have an incredible leader. Kathy is just a super, super motivating. Listening to her videos in the Diamond Dash on Mindset, it's like, dude, I'm like, it's everything. It's everything. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about that tonight as well, because that's when my business totally changed, is when I really dove into personal development. But I'm going to talk about like building a solid foundation and building a solid team. And it didn't happen for me right away. And I'm going to share a little of my ups and downs with you guys. So I hope that it helps or inspires you and give you some tips. And I'm just, I'm not like a notes person, and I'm not super organized. I just kind of talk, because when I have notes and I'm like structured, it doesn't work for me. So a little bit about myself. I joined Beachbody a little over 2.5 years ago. It was summertime. I was a teacher, and it was actually the end of summer. And I was, my husband was looking for another job. He's a teacher as well. And we were struggling financially. I had maternity leaves that I extended a little bit because I had my babies back to back. And, we were in a pretty tough place, so he was looking for jobs, and he couldn't get one. Like, he was applying to Home Depot. We have a delivery. We have Peapod for Stop and Shop. I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but it's a delivery service, right, for groceries. And he was like, if I could just do that in the summer, great. So he applied, and they wouldn't hire him because he couldn't. It was just summer, and he couldn't be like year long. And we were just like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? So we kind of just let it go. We prayed about it. We just let it go, and just felt like a peace about it. So end of summer, a friend of mine was hanging out with her kids, and she's like, hey, I'm in a challenge group, and I'm doing T25, my coach asked me to become a coach with her. I'm like, well, what is that? What's that all about? And she's like, well, it's just, she helps in a group of women, using one of Beachbody products. And she's like, don't you do P90X? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you would be so good at this. You love health and fitness, and my background's nutrition. And so I went to school to be a nutritionist and a dietitian, but then I went back to get my master's in education because I didn't want to work in a hospital. And the reason why I went to school for nutrition is because instead of the freshman 15, I gained like the freshman 40, and I was in a deep depression, in a bad relationship. And, I kind of researched nutrition myself, and really found a love for it and just wanted to learn more. So I transferred schools, and got my degree in nutrition. So it all started with that. I was an athlete in high school, and then when you stop doing everything and you start drinking and you start partying and you start eating crap, that's what happens. So, I really needed to get back on track. So that's when I started home workouts a long time ago, like Tae Bo. Loved Tae Bo and the Firm and all those things because I was too embarrassed to go to the gym at school, in college. So I did home workouts. And I just loved it. And then that's when I got into P90X after I had my first baby. And I saw a bigger difference using those programs than I did going to the gym before I got pregnant. And then, so when my friend was telling me about coaching, she didn't really know much about it. And and she didn't know if she wanted to get involved. So I didn't ask her any more questions, but I did. After she left, I went online and I just YouTube Beachbody and, read up on everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like I could help other women feel great like I do. And working out for me, being a mom was everything because it was my sanity. Like I needed it to have patience. So I didn't go crazy. So that's what I did. And I found my coach, Mindy Wender, on YouTube. And she was like, and this is what I always think about when I'm trying to talk to people about coaching or even doing videos and stuff like that. When I saw her, she was sitting in her kitchen. She had a side braid and hardly any makeup on and in a sweatshirt, a zip up. And I was like, wow, she's like a normal mom. That's like what I look like every day, And I'm like, if she can do something like this, why can't I? And that's what attracted me to her, was how down to earth she was. That's my personality. So that's why I joined her and not someone else, because there are so many people on YouTube and I could have gone with someone else, but I'm so glad I didn't because we mesh, I'm glad that that's the route I took. So I always think about that when I'm doing a video and I love profile pictures that are just normal life. Yes, they could be professional, but they don't have to be so made up just because that's who I am. But if I wasn't like that, if I like to dress up a lot, I would portray that in my social media cover in my picture. So I always think about those things when I'm posting as well in my pictures. Who am I attracting? Who do I want to post towards? So anyway, jumped in and I just was like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I watched a video on Success Club and challenge groups and challenge packs and what that was. So I said, okay, never been in a challenge group. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to post something and just talk to people behind the scenes. And I posted, it was an awful post with Shakeology bag and T25 program. And it was very salesy, I'm sure. And I got 6 likes, but it sparked interest. And then I would talk to people behind the scenes, and those were the people that joined me for my challenge group. And I said to them, listen, a lot of them were teachers with me. And I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to support you. We're going to support each other. We're going to share recipes. We're going to have fun, and we're going to do this together. And honestly, guys, that was probably the best thing that I could have done because it got me out there. I was afraid, but I knew action when you do something over and over, and when you act on something, that fear subsides. The more you act, that fear goes away. And I was afraid of what people thought of me. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but I feel like so many people nowadays are paralyzed with all this knowledge. We have so much training, so many things you can do. There's so many different ways to invite. There's so much, but you really have to find what works for you and then just do it consistently. And always it's trial and error. So you're just looking at what you're doing, what's working, I'm going to go with that. And you're going to have to revamp it every couple of months because it doesn't always work, and kind of just, and that's what I do is all trial and error. I try different things. If I'm going to do a sneak peek group, I'll do a sneak peek group for 3 days. Then maybe the next month I'll do an event for one night. And then I'll try something. Like, it is all trial and error in this business. And you just have to let yourself try things and just go for it. So here's the thing. This is what happened to me in the beginning. I was bringing on challengers. And my success partner, and I really truly believe success partners are awesome, and you need a mentor or success partner or even a group of people to work with, especially anywhere in your business. My success partner was Micah Folsom, and she 25 years, no, she was like probably 24 when she started. She, like, everyone from college was in her challenge groups, and she would play volleyball, so they were all athletes, and they were coaches with her, and they were succeeding, and she was moving really fast. And I was afraid to even talk to anyone about the business because guess what? I didn't have belief in it. I just didn't believe. I didn't believe that I could do it. I didn't really understand the whole thing, and I wasn't doing personal development. So the first 2 months, I would say, was like, okay, challenge groups, having fun, loved it, momentum, really thrived off of that. And then it came to like, okay, well, if you want to reach diamond and you want to move up in 2-star or whatever, you're going to have to build a team. So that's when I was like, okay, what do I do? How do I do this? And I had to dive into success stories. I didn't have the belief. And I remember Micah saying, you're never going to get off the ground if you don't believe that you can be there. If you don't have a strong enough why to push you every day and to push you out of your comfort zone to talk to people about this business. So I watched YouTube video after YouTube video on people in the Beachbody world and how their lives were changed in different ways. So whether it was financially, whether it was through health and fitness, I watched testimonies of people doing insanity and just becoming a new person. And watching these just was like, it was like a light went off. And I was like, holy moly, who am I to stop to prevent someone from joining me? Like, who am I to say that person will never do what I'm doing? That person can't do this. She will think I'm crazy. Who am I? Like, that's so selfish. It's so selfish of myself not giving someone the opportunity because I don't think that they would want to do this, and that's exactly where I was. So I said, screw this. And I was like, I need to do this. So I started walking the walk. I started acting like I knew what I was talking about. I started acting like I was a top coach. My posts started becoming a little more professional and cleaner. I was trying to attract my tribe. So I was branding. I was targeting more to my person, where before I was posting to everyone and anyone that wanted to join me, and I would take anyone and all those things. But now I was being very specific. So not only was I was posting about the coaching opportunity, how it changed my life. And at that point, it was not financially. It was more of a support of women, a supportive group of women. I was thriving off of success stories coming out of my challenge groups. I was like, dude, I could do this the rest of my life. This is just amazing. I told my husband, seriously, being a teacher, you don't get a lot of positive feedback from your students. So having this, like, from other women and just moms that their lives were changing and they were changing their families' lives and the way they were eating, like, that was everything. And I was sharing those things. Okay. Then I started sharing bits and pieces of the financial part of it, like whether I was able to pay a car bill or whatever. Paying for my daughter's gymnastics, which I would always have to say no in the past. Like, just being able to get her to go to gymnastics was huge. And people felt that through my post, that how meaningful that was. So I started sharing more about that. And I started listening to personal development that changed my mindset. So here's the thing with personal development. You need to find something that speaks to you. It's not just, oh, so-and-so said this is a good book, I'm going to read it. And then it doesn't really work for you. Like, that was for me. Like, everyone's like, read this or read that or read that. And I found myself starting so many books and then just not finishing because I wasn't into it. So I found books that spoke to me, that really spoke to belief in myself, that I can do this, and motivation. Like, the Go-Giver series was one huge series for me. The whole thing, I read the whole thing because it really took me out of the equation, and I looked at what this opportunity can do for someone else. And I was just a vessel being used, you know? I was just someone being used to share this. And whether they took it and ran or not wasn't up to me. But I needed to do my part, right? And share what I had. So personal development, everything. It actually helped me speak with more confidence. I was never like this before. I'm the one that ran away from people if I saw them in the grocery store. I didn't want to see anyone I grew up with. I hid, you know, and I never accepted people's friend requests on Facebook. And I always think about that. Like, it might take time for people when I friend request them now, but that was me. I was a lurker. I never liked people's posts, even though I saw them and I thought they were cool. I never commented. So there's so many people like that out there that are watching you guys and not liking. And I know we just want to be like, please like my post or comment, you know, or they'll come up to you and be like, oh, you're really inspiring, I love your post. And you're like, well, I've never seen you like anything. Can you give me some love? But there's that, people are just like that. They just surf, and they surf the net. If that, I don't even, do we call it that anymore? But, you know, that's what they do. So being with that personal development, I was speaking more confidently, and people were noticing a change in me. People were noticing I was more positive and wanting that. That's contagious. People want that. So personal development does more. That's the reason why we are supposed to do it. If I wasn't doing personal development, I would have quit, because I would have not been able to handle it. I would have been like, I can't do this. I would have thrown in the towel. But even more so, as you grow in this business, you need it more and more. And there's some days where I'm like, something happens and that's all I listen to all day long. I have my earbuds in, you know, the kids are swimming or whatever. I have one in, one out. You know, it's like some days you need it more than others, you know, but it's always a continuous thing, and you need to renew your mind every single day. So, that's the first thing. And then when I started doing these things, people were coming to me, people were more attracted to me. So when I did reach out to them in a private message and just built a relationship with them, they were more apt to say, hey, what are you doing? Or if I said to them, have you ever thought about coaching, because they said something along the lines, like presented a need for it, they would be like, no, I don't even know what that is. Is that what you do? And that's the conversation we would get into. And that came more naturally because I was more confident and I was posting more about it. Okay. So that's huge. All right. So as you're growing your team, here's the biggest thing too, not only personal development, but modeling the behaviors for your team. So you're adding people to your team, whether they're from a challenge group or they're not, maybe they're just starting their health and fitness journey and they join as a discount coach, whatever it is so important. And I did this as my team started to grow, modeled the behavior. So as a teacher, I was a high school teacher. I had to get up early. Well, guess what? With this job, this new Beachbody job, I got up even earlier because I knew if I got my power hour done in the morning and my personal development, I wouldn't have it on my shoulders throughout the whole day. I would have a different mindset because I was doing it in the morning before anything touched my mind. You know, when the whole day or the weight of the world is on your shoulders and then you go out and try to talk to people, it's not always great. So I did it in the morning. I showed up every day, listened to PD right when I woke up. I still do. And then I talk to people and build relationships. And when I was building relationships with people, I would always post the like convos or something that I was inviting them to and screenshot them and shared it with my team. Now, in the beginning, when I was doing this, I had no one working the business. It was my husband. That wasn't working the business. It was my cousin, and it was a group of people, women that weren't doing anything. Okay. So at this point, I was not getting anywhere, but I kept doing that. I kept doing it. I kept showing up in my team page. And guess what? The more people that I brought in, the more people started to talk, comment under the post that I was posting every morning. They were seeing me show up and seeing my business grow, me hitting diamond, 1-star, 2-star, modeling the behavior of the power hour and showing it to them. I would post PD, something that spoke to me in my team page. Those are the things that I did consistently. And guess what? Little by little, they started to join in and join and do what I was doing and ask for help and ask questions and all that. But there is a video on YouTube, and this reminds me of it. One of my coaches just shared it with me again, but it's a guy dancing. I don't know if you guys saw it. And he's like at this festival or something. Everyone's on a hill, and he's the only guy dancing like a maniac. And everyone's staring at him, right? And then all of a sudden, one other guy joins him, and they're all the two of them are dancing for like, it seems like forever. And then little by little, a third one joins in, and that's how this is. Like the more consistent, the more we show up, the more positive we are on our team page and on our regular page. And I don't mean by just sugarcoating everything. The reason why I'm more positive is because of the personal growth that has happened. Okay. So it's not like I'm faking it. It's just, it happens because of the personal growth every single day. Okay. And I always, it's like Joel Osteen, I love him. And he has this saying that he says, be positive or be quiet. But it's true, because the more negative we are and the more that happens on our team page or wherever, it totally just knocks us out and it brings us down and it snowballs. Then everything is wrong. Oh, coach relations, or oh, this, or oh, that. And then you feel like and then there goes your business, and you feel like you're drowning, and it's so not even true. It's like, what's going on in here, you know? So that's why positivity is super crucial. So modeling the behavior and sharing what you're doing, just sharing bits and pieces of it. People we need to simplify it for our team and for those people that are on our team working the business. And just keep it simple and just show them like real deal. This is what I'm saying. This is how it goes. This is not salesy, obviously, because I don't, you know, and sharing that it doesn't have to be that way, because that's the first thing people think when they join is like, oh no, what am I going to have to say to these people? Well, I don't know what, you know, so when you're sharing what you're saying, it really helps. Okay. Another thing that was really hard to grasp early on, 80-20 rule. And I heard Scotty Hobbs talk about this. It's two ways. Okay. So 2 things with this rule. 20% of the people in your business will be working coaches. And sometimes it seems even less. Sometimes it's like 10, you know, but that it's so true. And here's the thing. We spend most of our time with the other 80%, trying to drag them along, trying to pull something out of them when we shouldn't be. We should obviously treat them like a challenger, treat them like your coach, but spend most of your time with the 20% that are running. Okay. And this goes with your business as well. Most of the time when we get a couple coaches to join our team, we spend 80% of the time working with those coaches and 20% of the time growing our own business, which it should be opposite. And I think that's what happens. We get this thing like, okay, I have one working coach. We're just going to do it together. And it's going to be me. And guy, you can't bank on people. Yes, you can run with the runners and help them, but you really need to spend 80% or more of your time doing your own business. And that means adding coaches. That means working your power hour. That means, you know what? When you show that you're adding coaches to your own team page, your other coaches that may have said they want to work the business and aren't are going to be like, wow, she's really doing this. Like, she's not waiting on me. I better get my butt in gear. I had one coach join me really early on. I just knew she was going to be outstanding. And then month after month, nothing. And I was like, I just believe in her so much, but she has to believe in herself, right? Then about 12 months in, she was like, I was seeing so many coaches being like hitting Success Club, and you were just going and you weren't leaving, like you were leaving me in the dust. I needed to jump back in. So now she's successful. She's a 2-star diamond, you know, and she's really going for it, but it just took her a little bit of time, but they see that and they watch it. So don't give up on them, but you can't spend all of your time with them. But you need to work on building your own business, presenting the business, and talking to your challengers about the business opportunity. So the easiest way to do this, to have coaches join you, is building relationships. And that's what I did from the get-go. That's it. That's what I worked on. I remember Janelle Summers saying to me, anytime anyone presents an opportunity, like a need, you ask them, have they ever thought about coaching? And I was like, really? It's that simple? I don't know, don't I have to just explain everything to them? And no, that's all I did. It was like, well, have you ever thought about, if they say they hate their job, well, have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? And they'll be like, well, what are you doing? You're on social media, like playing? And that's when I just share bits and pieces at a time. I'm not like, well, it's blah, and then they don't respond. It's just little bits and pieces in a conversation. It's not awkward. It flows. Honestly, if I have a conversation with someone and it's not really going somewhere and it's awkward and I feel like I'm pulling stuff, I kind of just let it go and move on. They're watching. I might revisit. I'll probably revisit in a couple months. I'll like a couple things on their pages and stay in contact that way. But I don't bank on that person. I move on, because you have to move on. So, I'm going to tell you something, guys. The best ways that I built my business and added coaches were the sneak peek groups, but inviting. So I made goals for myself. Okay, I'm going to invite 20 people to this sneak peek group that we have coming up. Or I'm going to invite 20 people to this live call that we have, that my coach is doing. Or I would do a What is Coaching call. Or even now, I think what is really cool, and I know kind of scary, but Facebook Live, doing maybe a What is Coaching call on Facebook Live on your regular page, or even talking about some of the things that people have said to you why they don't want to become a coach, and kind of squashing those things, or sharing maybe why you didn't want to become a coach, but then you jumped in, and sharing that a little bit of your story. But I think those little simple things will attract people to you and make people think to themselves, okay, well, maybe I should check this out. So those are some things. But also the Diamond Dash, we have another one coming up. And I hope you guys are either going to join or your coaches are going to join, because this is a twofold thing. It is going to be a little different if you've been in the ones in the past. It's going to be more of a leadership training. So we want to train you guys to become leaders, not just diamonds. Okay, diamond's a stepping stone, but we want to help you build a solid foundation. And the Diamond Dash is great for you because it is a time, I call it seasons of push. Now, we don't have to go crazy. I don't want to say go crazy like 12 months out of the year. But there are seasons of push in this business. And guess what? The season coming up in July is a season of push. Not only because we're doing this awesome group, but because we have Summit coming. It's going to be huge. Even if you're not going, use it on your page and say, guys, next year I'm going to be there, and make a declaration on your page talking about that. But also, this group will push you to step out of your comfort zone, to talk to more people because of what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to have a sneak peek or a type of business opportunity thing in there. Maybe I think it might be an event, but you will be able to invite to that. So doing these groups helped me so much in the beginning because it pushed me to work a little harder. And I said to myself, why can't I take a month and really, really, really focus and push? And then after that month, continue to grow. But guess what? I have all these people. I have maybe 3 more people or 5 more people or 2 more people that have joined me that normally that wouldn't have if I didn't do this. Okay? So you're always going to end up better at the end than you were in the beginning. So I always encourage my coaches to get in here, give it 100%. I know it's a hard time of year because it's summer, if you have kids, but I'm telling you, if you take this training seriously, and I'll give you the best advice, wake up early and get it in before the kids wake up. I don't care if it's 4:00 in the morning. It works. I know it sounds crazy, but guys, I get up early still, because if I don't get my PD in, I'm like Godzilla. I'm like, when they wake up, if they wake me up every day, I'm like on edge. I'm trying to get everything done. I need that time, right? So I get some training in, some PD, I get my power hour in, and I feel good. So guys, that's like my best advice to keeping yourself sane this summer, not feeling like your business is falling apart. Get up. And if you can't do it 5 days a week, do it 3. And then pick 2 of the other days to do it during nap time or at night or whatever. But you need to come up with some type of system. Okay. So Diamond Dash, get on that, because I'm going to be in there. Kathy's going to be in there. We're just going to, and we've changed it because we want to develop you guys into leaders for sure. Another thing, this is another thing. So here's the thing. I'm sure Kathy does like sneak peeks and some business opportunity stuff, but I don't know if you guys do it yourselves, but I want to encourage you guys to start doing those things. When I stepped out with my success partner and started doing it together with her, people started to join more so than if I did it with Mindy, because they were seeing my face on the videos. They were seeing me posting in the group. So they thought of me as a leader. So if you want to start doing these things, I would advise you to maybe with a group of people. I always tell my coaches, take a couple people, take 4 people and do it together, and each share your story in there and a little bit about coaching and all of that. And then if you're looking to build your business, set monthly goals with how many coaches you want to add. And that's what I did. I said, okay, 5 coaches a month. If I want to hit my goals, that's where I have to start. So that whole first year, I said, after I got over my whole issue with adding coaches, I was like, okay, I don't care if they're discount or whatever, I have to hit that 5 mark. And that's what I focused on, presenting the business, talking to, and I couldn't always predict whether or not I could present the business, because sometimes the opportunity doesn't come up. But guess what? I could definitely control how many people I was talking to. And if you're talking to enough people, that opportunity will come up multiple times. And sometimes it's 5 times a day. Sometimes it's 0, but it's going to come up that week multiple times. Okay. So you can't reach out to 5 new people a day, 10 new people a day, whatever your goals are. you need to be consistent with that. And then the last thing I kind of want to just talk to you guys about is, well, I kind of talked to you about, all right. So your why, we always say your why has to drive you, your why has to make you cry. You have to have a strong why to succeed. You do. And I'm going to give you some things that have helped me in the past. My why initially was to be at home with my kids. And that's a lot of women, a lot of moms want that. I wanted to be able to do my daughter's hair in the morning, like I shared on the National Wake Up Call. That was like a big thing for me because my husband used to do that. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to cook them breakfast. I was their mom. I didn't want to leave the house before anyone got up in the morning anymore. I wanted to get them off the bus. I wanted to do the homework, the whole thing. And I wanted to be sane. Like I just felt working full time, like with everything. I was like a maniac and I wanted to enjoy my life. I wanted to enjoy my family. And that's what drove me every day to get up early, to do what I had to do. Then I'd go to work and do the whole thing. And every morning I remember waking up saying to myself, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this another day. But then I thought about them, thought about what I could have. And if I work hard enough, I will get there. If I work hard enough, I knew it was in my hands. I can get there. But I had to do it. And I had to do things that other people weren't doing. And that was getting up, being consistent and getting up early every morning. When my husband would look at me and tell me I was crazy. And I just knew, I knew that there was more for our family. So what I did was I made a voice message on my phone talking about my typical, my perfect day, And I made it like it was present tense. So I would say, and well, it was like a year from now. So a year from now on June 15th, 14, it was my last day of school. I was coming home. I would never have to go back to work again. I was coming home to take the kids out for ice cream, to enjoy those moments, coming, and then after that, sitting on our deck, having the ice cream and playing in the sprinkler. How that freedom felt to me. What did that look like? I described the whole day and night, and that is what I listened to every single day to drive me to where I am, where that happened, And I have my coaches do this. And sometimes like one of them, their big why is like just to take their kids to Disney and have that freedom of not having to worry about the finances and any of that. So they describe how that would look and what the looks on their kids' faces felt like to them and all of those things. So it's in detail of what means the most to you. And they listen to that. And that's what drives you. And you just have to be passionate about your why. And mine has changed. Now I want my coaches to feel this. Like that's what drives us. I want everyone to feel this way. And it's possible just by being a normal. Guys, took me 5 or 6 years to graduate college. Like I'm not some special person at all. I was never determined, asked my husband, never determined or committed to anything in my entire life until this. So it's possible. I'm going to answer some of the questions I think that we have. How long did you work while building your business? 1 year. Because I was crazy. I was a crazy person. Now, this doesn't mean that this is for everyone. That year was hard. But I can say it was worth every second. And when I did retire, I wasn't making a ton of money. But I knew I could get to that point if I had more time to invest in the business. And I knew that I couldn't balance both much longer. Like I wanted to run with this business. So I knew that I had to let go of teaching, and I wasn't passionate. I was passionate about I love the kids, but not what I was doing. So I was like, I just got it. And I said to my husband, let me see what I can do this year. Not working, and he was like, okay, it's going to be tight. And it was really tight for a while, but it was the best decision I ever made. And I'll never go back. How did you balance your adjustment from work then being home with the kids? Yes. So that's the balance was I needed to do the same thing that I was doing when I was working now, up early. Honestly, it wasn't early, like 4 o'clock, like 5 o'clock now I get up and I go for a PD walk. I call it a PD walk because if I don't go for a PD, if I don't walk while listening, this is how I will be listening to PD. So I have to be very purposeful in that because I need that. If I don't fill up my cup, I can't fill up anyone's. So I'm going for a walk, listening to whatever I'm listening to that day, and then I get home and I do most of my power hour, and then the kids and my little one's up by then. But he'll just hang out and I watch TV a little bit, and that's okay. Like, listen, TV is not going to kill him. Especially listen, I worked away from them for hours on end every day, and not a little TV while mommy's working for an hour isn't going to do any harm when mommy's present with them the rest of the time, So, I'm just reading some of this because if I get sidetracked and I'm like, yeah, so that's if you guys, I would be definitely willing to take any questions that you have. If you have questions, I love questions. But, just putting your head down and making it happen, get that why really in your heart, get that why on paper or in a photo and I have my kids on my screensaver because that's what I looked at. And you know what? Also, I didn't say this, but with my success partner, we were very specific with our monthly goals. I think it's really important. She pushed me to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, and she would be like, okay, well, how many of your coaches do you want to even have one Success Club point? And at that point in the beginning, that's where we were. Like, my coaches weren't hitting Success Club. They were maybe getting 1 point or none, but every month I wanted to increase that. So I wanted to stick with that adding 5 coaches a month, having some of my coaches hitting just getting 1 point, 2 points, and maybe I would have one hitting Success Club after a couple months. Like, you just grow and set some goals, and then every month you can talk to them, your mentor, a success partner, or a success pod, a group of women or a group of people, coaches that you connect with, and kind of, go over your goals. Where were you lacking? If you're trying to grow your volume, talk about your volume. Okay, next month I want 100 more or 200 or 300 more volume points on one side and 300. Like, be purposeful in your goals. So that helps a lot too.
Yeah, I think that's so true too. Like, you can't just let the business happen to you. I feel like sometimes people think that if they just stay in it over time, like, it'll work out the way that they want it to, but you do have to be so intentional every single day. And that's why setting those specific goals, like you mentioned, like every single month, is so crucial. And then if you can have that success partner, that's why I like doing the calls with like Jeff Matheson, because he pushes me and I can tell him, like, all right, this is my goal for the week, or this is my goal for the next 2 weeks, and this is what I'm doing. And it just pushes me and it holds me more accountable because I know that the next week he's going to be checking in on me to see how things turned out. And I also know it's going to move my business that much further along.
Yes.
Yeah, so much good stuff, Tara, tonight. I took down a couple highlights here that I just want to recap for the team real quick, but amazing call. So much great information.
I was like all over the place.
No, you weren't at all. You touched on all the really important things. So I'm so glad that you did. And I know the team got a lot out of it, but some of the really key things that stood out to me that like showed how you were able to really move your business forward and really launch it forward, and to be able to live this life now that you always dreamed of living. I mean, you're able to build your house now you're going to be moving into in a couple of weeks, and you're not teaching anymore. You're living those dreams at your home with your kids. I mean, amazing things are happening, but the belief, you know, like you touched on, you have to get that grounded, because if you don't have that, nothing is going to happen no matter how hard you work. If you don't believe in yourself and that you can actually get to that point, it's going to be really hard for you. So I like how you touched on that. Taking action. Those are a couple key takeaway words that I got from this too. You know, sometimes, like you said, people get so scared and worried, and we have that fear that we kind of sit back, we don't do anything, but that can actually be crippling. Taking action is what's going to help you get over that fear. The more you do it, the more confident you get.
Yep.
Building your team. I mean, I know pretty much everybody on this call right now that I'm looking at has really big goals for their future. And so building your team is what is going to do it. It's not going to be getting the people into challenge groups. Can't just be that. It has to be, you're going to build your team and you are going to help them. So posting about coaching, the more you are talking about it and what it's doing for you and how much you love it, why you became a coach, sharing those successes that you're having, people on your team are having. That way, when you're doing the private messages behind the scenes, it will all match up. When they go to check your wall, they're going to see that you're serious. But you have to talk about it if you want it to happen.
Yeah.
And then personal development. Like, I know even for me, like, that is huge, because there was a period of time where I was like, I don't need personal development. Like, I'm totally fine. I don't need it. I don't have time for it. That was me for like the first, I think, probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months of the business, something like ridiculous like that. I was like, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy inviting. But you won't be able to grow yourself or your team past a certain point without it. And there's going to be crap that's going to happen.
Yes.
And you can't help other people if you're not helping yourself. And it really is true. Like, I love how when you said, you know, you're not faking it. Like, when you're happy, like, you really are truly that positive. And it's funny because I remember when I first became a coach, Nick and I there was another coach in the network. They were posting some ridiculous thing, some horrible thing that happened, but then she turned it all around and had this positive spin on it. And I specifically remember looking at Nick and we were like, come on, seriously? Like, do you really seriously think, I mean, how the hell could you possibly be that happy over that? Like, look what just happened. It was something like ridiculous. But then as time went on and I started that personal growth myself through personal development, I realized, oh my God, like, you completely changed. Like, it's so real. It is serious. Like, they're not just faking it to put on like an act on social media. Like, this is really how they are viewing and handling the situations. And it's so awesome. And that has really been like one of the biggest things that I've loved about this business is that personal growth and how much I've changed. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. When you guys have like down times and times where you don't hit goals, or when you're struggling to hit a rank and you don't, you know, that personal development is what moves you forward, right? So I had a hard time when I was trying to go to leadership my like second year or whatever, and I missed it by a week. And I was so mad. I honestly was like, oh my gosh, how I've been pushing for this and and I took like a day, and I said, I'm just going to wallow in a day. And then I was right back in it. And I said, okay, I'm going to set some major goals now. I'm going to set some goals. And guess what? Next year I'm going to be there and I'm going to be whatever. And the next year I was there, 15-star, waking up that morning there, because my mindset was different because of the personal development. If I wasn't doing the personal development, I would have given up. Yeah,
it's so true. It is. It's like, once you set your mind to something and you actually get that mind shift in your brain and you're like, all right, like, this is what I'm doing. It's going to happen. And, you know, you don't just say it, like, you're actually then putting in place like the intentional actions.
Yes.
It is amazing. Like, what you can do, guys, when you set goals like that, like when you really put your mind to it. And even like Tara said, even if you don't hit your goal when you had planned, I mean, I haven't hit a lot of my goals when I planned. It doesn't faze me because I'm in the long haul and I know I'm going to eventually hit it. I'm just going to keep working towards it. But your business is going to be that much further along by setting those big goals for yourself.
Yep. It's huge. It's everything. It really is, guys.
It is. It's so awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Tara? I mean, she's an incredible leader. So if you guys have if you want any tips for your team tips for yourself. I mean, just anything that you're struggling with, you know, we can take a couple questions for sure while we have her. Definitely make sure, guys, that you get your team in the Diamond Dash, though. Or, you know, even if you've lost rank yourself or you're brand new coach and you're looking to become Diamond, definitely get in this Diamond Dash. You are not going to want to miss it.
Okay, we have how did you finally identify yourself? What do you mean? Are you saying like brand myself? Okay, so I have, I was too afraid to share about my faith in the beginning because I was so afraid that I would turn people off. But guess what? That's me. So that's what I use now. I share about it openly, and it's actually made me a much happier person because I could be myself. So, you know, finding who you are, like I know who I am, and personal development totally helped bring that out of me in a public setting, you know, and I wasn't afraid to share that. Cause guess what? I'm looking for people like me to join me on my team. So why not share who you really are? People don't like me. Well, then they'll move on to someone else. People don't connect with me. They'll connect with another coach. And you know, you wouldn't work well with those people that don't connect with you anyway. Right? So don't be afraid to be yourself. What is your PD recommendation for shifting mindsets? Oh, okay. So this is, again, who I listen to is Joel Osteen, The Power of I Am, because it's faith-based and I love him. He's like my dude. He's awesome. But hold on. I'm going to bring up, there's a book that I'm reading right now, Find Your Extraordinary, by Jessica Heron. She's actually the founder of Stella and Dot. Very powerful. Her story is awesome, and it's very motivating, inspiring, and definitely helps you with your mindset. But I love Joel Osteen, The Power of I Am. The 10X Rule. I don't know if you guys have read that. That is a powerful book. Find Your Extraordinary. Jessica Heron, Herrin. It's really good. A lot of the books I read, so like The Energy Bus by John Gordon, a lot of the books I read just positive like thinking and just positive living. The Power of Self-Confidence is really good by Brian Tracy. But again, so like I love the Slight Edge, and that's what I use. Like that's the Slight Edge is getting up every morning, early in the morning, and doing things other people aren't doing and being consistent. So I love that book. But other books that I've read, like some things if they don't speak to me, I'm done and moving on to something else. Mindset, yeah, that's the thing. You losing rank, it happens, but we want to get it into our mind where, okay, we move forward. Like I always say, I don't want it to happen, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not let it happen. But if it does, I'm moving forward. I'm going to secure it tenfold, and I'm going to move on and go to the next level. So the only reason why I could say that is because of the personal development. So when that happens, and it has happened, I focus on personal development, and just getting my mind right at like all day long. Honestly, I listen to it all day long. I have it on the radio, I have whatever. And listening to stories of encouragement, even on YouTube, like there's so many stories of beach ready coaches that have gone through ups and downs or failures. So listening to something like that can encourage you as well. And then guess what? Action is going to get you out of that mindset, right? So you just have to, okay, I'm just going to talk to people. I'm going to help change lives. Bring it back to the basics and help people get results, right? That's really what's going to help too. When do you go to bed? Well, Carrie, when I was teaching, I went to bed like at midnight because I was like, I could sleep at some point in my life. So, it was crazy. Now I would sometimes I'm really hyped up. Like tonight, if I have a call like this, I'll be like, I won't be able to stop. But usually like 10, 11. I think you get into a habit, and I can't nap. I wish I could. My brain just doesn't want me. Do you really only work for 1 hour each day? And no. Oh no. So I did my power hour in the morning and when I worked, and now too. So I get my business done. Okay. Cause I only do 1 power hour now, but when I was growing my business, like crazy, it wasn't like that. I was doing the power hour in the morning, and then still during nap time now, I'm working. So maybe I'll be reaching out to more people, but a lot of times I'm working with my coaches, mentoring them like that during nap time hours. And then only my little one naps though, so it's hard now because the others are home. And then at night, an hour. So 3-ish, 4-ish, depends. But I definitely think you could do it to 1 to 2 hours a day for sure, especially through the mom cracks. Like you do it in the morning, get your solid power hour done, bam. Then I always do a little bit more. So during lunchtime, if you have a little bit of time, go start talking to other people, and then at nighttime, wrap it up and do something else. So I think you can definitely do it, but you got to get it done early, really. Get it off your mom cracks. It's true. And you don't want to be on your phone all day. That's the thing. And it's so hard for us because we love this. I know. I could easily be, but you want to try to preserve that time with your kids or with your family.
Yeah. And you got to really do what works for you two guys. Like what really fits into your schedule. And it depends too, like how fast do you really want to change your situation? Like how bad do you really want to get to that life by design? I mean, like just like what Tara said, I mean, she was pretty aggressive at the beginning. Like she really wanted out of that teaching job so she could be at home with her kids. It was the same thing with me. Like at the beginning, I couldn't just do a power hour for like 1 hour every day. It was like I had to go all in and go nuts and work every single night until 12:30 at night because, well, the kids were waking up all night. Plus, then they were up at like 5:30 or 6 for the day. So, and I'm just not a morning person. I've tried plenty of times. I'm much better at night.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
And it was really freaking hard. It's, but it was totally, and it has been totally worth it. So you got to do what works for you. And like I said, it depends on how fast you want to get there.
Yep. It all depends on your goals and how fast.
Yep.
I just knew that I couldn't do both. And my kids were growing up really fast. Yeah. So I just had to do it. I just had to.
Yeah. And it's so nice. Like I love hearing like stories just from like you and just from other coaches in the network that are able to, be able to live out their dreams and have that life by design. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going because when I hear other people living out those lifestyles, it just reassures me even more that this is awesome. Like this is where we're going. Just keep plugging along. Just keep doing what you're doing. Never give up on yourself and on your dreams, and you're going to get there.
Oh yeah.
So cool about it. Like even just being home like this past week, like me and Nick were talking like with my poor dog and everything, and like Nick having to like work right away Monday morning, the day after it happened, like having to deal with the people at work, giving them, slack about it. And you know how it is. Like if people aren't like into their dogs, they don't understand animals, just him having to do all that and be on all the calls and conferences. And I was just sitting here like thinking, oh my God, like I am so lucky that Beachbody came into my life and that I don't need to be dealing with any of that right now. Like that's the beauty of this business, is that it is your own business. And it's just so awesome when it gets to that point.
It is. You guys, and you have it like it's an opportunity in front of you. And it's just grabbing hold of it and taking action. Yeah. And that's it. And then, guys, it will happen. It will happen if you take action every single day and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were so awesome, Tara. Seriously, thank you so much. I know the team was so excited to hear from you. And Cannot thank you enough. And congratulations on your new home. I can't wait to see pictures when you guys move in.
You guys should look at what's going on over there. Oh, that's a light on the floor. And
oh my God.
We have 2 pods in our driveway right now. It's awesome.
That's so exciting, though. I can't wait to see the pictures. Great for you. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you. This is so fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks, Tara.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.